Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 21st episode of the Information Paradise podcast. Here we have Connor Pogue again.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We were talking about Merkaba. What was the last thing you said?
I just started learning this stuff, so definitely do a lot more research because some crazy shit can happen if you don't know what you're doing. Basically, the most powerful thing you can do to manifest something or protect yourself or do any of these psychic abilities, and the Egyptians knew about this stuff a long time, and I've done a lot of research, I guess you could say, on just Egyptian culture and ancient knowledge, and there's a lot of very intelligent things that they did. The golden mean ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, and how the pyramids are placed around the world. The scientists don't know what to do about this, but the stones at the very top of the pyramid are not the same as the ones on the bottom, and I think they're either older. Wait, it's almost like the ones on the top came before the ones at the bottom.
What the fuck?
There's a lot I could say. I just have bits and pieces, but if you go on Gaia.com and you look up this guy Bravo Melchizedek, he talks a lot about this crazy history and stuff, and he talks about, and he's depicted as the guy with the bird head, you know? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he's always holding this cross with a loop on it, and that symbolizes he's achieved immortality. And immortality is it's not being in the same body, it's having no gaps in your consciousness when you transcend. When you move on to a new body or something and your memory's wiped, that's considered immortal, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, the Merkaba, in a nutshell, it's this energetic field that you can create for yourself, and you have to do it on a consistent basis. And then I think for about 2 years, you have to visualize these pyramids. I'll tell you in a second what it is, but you have to visualize the shape spinning or just doing things. And then after a period of 2 years or so, it's there permanently, and you don't have to do anything about it. Self-sustaining. And I was actually there's this other guy. His name is on YouTube. It's called 434, and he basically, in a nutshell, his whole YouTube channel is about he takes DMT or I think he takes shrooms, and he talks to these Machine Elves, and they tell him a bunch of stuff. And just recently, I messaged him, and his profile picture on Instagram is the Merkaba, and I was like, whoa, what do you know about it? I have no idea, but I've seen it when I talk to Machine Elves, and I was interested.
Whoa.
I told him who to look up. If you don't know, the Machine Elves are incredibly advanced alien spiritual high vibrational race, I guess you could call it that. We're humans are 1 pixel on a full HD screen, and Machine Elves are a full video or something. I would research more if you're watching this about the Merkaba, but I'll just tell you the basics. Basically 2 triangles merged together, and the top one is the masculine and the bottom one is the feminine, and they spin. The male spins from left to right, and the female spins from right to left, and that they spin so fast, it creates this electromagnetic field shaped like a disc, and it goes way out. Like if the Merkaba's right here, it will go like way out here. It will create its own electromagnetic field, and that is pretty powerful in itself, because I was watching this other thing from Bravo, and he was talking about like how like the history of the Earth and stuff like that. Do you know about like pole shifts?
No.
So the Earth has north and south, like it's a big electromagnetic sphere, right? Every like certain number of thousand years, they actually flip.
Okay.
And scientists can measure this by looking in the volcanic rock and looking at the magma that comes out of these little volcanoes and how it cools according to how it lines up with the poles of the Earth. And they just see it like north is this way, and then 800 years or so it's flipped and it's north is this way, and then it's just like they're just pointing opposite directions, and it's like basically like a long-term timeline of these poles. And then he pointed out another scientific article that depicted that memory and the magnet sphere. Our brain has like a magnetic sphere around it, okay? And in my astral dynamics book, he also mentioned that memory is not held within the brain. And that's a pretty radical concept, because my sister is a neurologist, and she's like, and he just said like, there's this one procedure you can get done, and it basically just like removes half of your brain. You can just get half of your brain removed, and you can still function as a human being. I don't know if you can like some maybe there might be something wrong with you slightly, but basically you can still remember anything, even if a whole half of your brain is removed. So that really questioned him to like think like, how do we remember things? Is memory held within the brain, or is it not? And from Robert Bruce and Bravo and a bunch of other scientists that study this, it's not. It's basically memory stored in this like electromagnetic cloud around our body, like the aura kind of. So the important thing to have this stable memory is that it has to be grounded in another larger magnetic field. It has to be grounded in the Earth's magnetic field. Okay. And if the Earth doesn't have, or the brain doesn't have this larger magnetic field, it can't restore the information, aka memory. So what happens when the Earth flips, there's like a 3-day period where there's no electromagnetic field. And that means like your memory's wiped. Okay. And this is like how Atlantis fell, according to him. So if the Earth's magnetic sphere like just went away, we just have our memory basically wiped. But that's where the Merkaba comes in. So if you can create your own Merkaba and generate your own electromagnetic field similar to the Earth, you can be anywhere you want. And that's where like Thoth, he made his own Merkaba, and he made like the spaceship and stuff. And he basically like could like fly around. And when this thing was happening, he watched like all the other people just have no idea what was going on. And he had to stay up stuff in his spaceship with his Merkaba spinning. And do you have any questions?
I have no idea.
I want to actually get some more books on it because it's really new to me, and I feel like it's really powerful. Like I just have an intuition that it's like really something I'd look into, because he was talking about like the Bravo. He saw the really intuitive types. They would do this for a few minutes, and they would just start lifting off the ground or something. Or some people might like phase through walls, like they could just like stick their hand right through a wall or something. And that really caught my attention. That's like where I want to be, because like I have all these astral projections that I can do amazing things. Like I can like move stuff with my mind and like phase through walls and teleport. And like almost every dream I have, I can do that. And then I wake up here and it's like, oh yeah, I feel like we're all kind of like limited in a way,
Yeah.
and I feel like this is pretty empowering. So, like, I'm not 100% certain, but the Merkaba, you know how there's platonic solids? It's like an example would be like the sphere, the cube, the tri-pyramid, like it's equal on all sides. And there's like 5 of them, and 5 of them only, or 6 including the sphere. One of them is the Merkaba. And so I think if you use the other platonic solids and use a masculine feminine dynamic, you can create other larger electromagnetic spheres.
Well, yeah.
Spheres. That's kind of guessing, so I'm still not 100%. But yeah, there's a lot. And then I learned from him like how like creation is formed. This is kind of like a new subject, like away from the Merkaba, and it has to do with a lot like Shaker geometry. Basically, like you have this spirit, all right, and it's in this thing called the void, and it's like nothingness, like absolute nothingness. There's just nothing. It's infinite in all directions, and there's no light, anything at all, and it's just this one spirit. Essentially, there's no time, any relative size or anything, because to have size, you have to have something to compare it with. And same thing with motion. Like you can't move anywhere if you don't have any sense of like direction or like relative to anything, you know.
Both miles and hours are measurements.
So this like singular spirit is in this void, and it sits there for eternity, but it decides that it wants to do something. It like goes out, and so it makes these lines, and we actually have this intuitive. We could probably do this ourselves, because he talked about we all have like this innate sensibility to have lines, top and bottom, left and right, and front and back. They're all the same length. So if one length is here, it's the same on all sides. Or if one's length is here, it's all on the same sides. We can actually feel like if things close to our head, we can actually feel it. Well, without even like our 5 senses. The spirit is like, it has these lines, and it's been trained to like have them a certain length. I think it's like 22 feet or something. You can make them long, and so they're just lines. All right, and if you connect those endpoints together, you get something like this little pyramid and this pyramid, and that creates the most masculine 3-dimensional object, because masculine is all about straight lines and female is all about curved lines. You know, like the Adam and Eve story, how Eve came from Adam first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is going to explain it, because if you have this shape, the next step is to spin it this axis, and this axis, and this axis. And if you do that with this shape, the edges, it will form a perfect sphere. And that's how a sphere is created, aka the feminine. So Adam was created first, and then Eve came from Adam. This is what he's talking about in terms of sacred geometry. The next step, and this is why Metatron's cube is like, to the Egyptians, Metatron's cube is blinding light to them.
That's the stage turquoise cover on my video.
Yeah, it is. I saw that. This is definitely a stage turquoise video. So that's Metatron's cube. So this is gonna like go full circle. So right now we just created a sphere, all right? And then the spirit is like, there's instruction that the spirit has, and the spirit could be any of us, basically. And you can do this yourself if you have enough practice, and you can get into the void. So the next instruction, or the only instruction, is go to the part where it's newly created. So we just created a sphere. All right, so let's go to the edge of the sphere, because that's newly created. They actually tell you to forget about the other shape, the male shape. Just forget about the octahedron. Just start making spheres. So go to you're in the exact center of the sphere, and then you can go out in any direction you want, because the radius is the same in the sphere, and go to the edge of the sphere and create another sphere. This is like apparently the most sacred shape there is. It's 2 spheres it's kind of like a Venn diagram, and it's like two spheres touch, and that's like the basic, most like fundamental sacred geometry shape, aside from the circle or something. The next step is go to the part that's newly created. What's newly created? There's actually a new plane of existence. So imagine if you have two soap bubbles and you put them together, they would cross, but then there'd actually be this new oval kind of thing, and there would be like this plane of existence. And then you go to that plane, you go to the edge or something, you basically have three circles that are equally divided. So, like, like the peace sign goes, kind of like that. And then from there, it just keeps going on. And I highly recommend to watch the video because he explains it with nice pictures and stuff. But basically, if you follow this pattern, you'll kind of start to pick up that it's the flower of life. From this instructions I'm giving you, basically, you can create this. That's basically just a bunch of tiny Venn diagrams, and it's just going around and around. That's the flower of life, but first you have to make the seed of life, which is just a smaller version of the flower of life. The seed of life just has a center circle and then the outer circles. The flower of life has like the center circle and then the outer circles and then the outer circles. From the seed of life, you can create this thing called a tube torus. This is what a torus looks like. It's this donut shape.
Yeah.
And that's what's created from the seed of life, because I showed you circles on the flower of life, but we're actually dealing with three-dimensional objects, and circles are just a two-dimensional representation of three-dimensional objects. All right, so this was actually all happening in 3D, and from the seed of life, you can create this tortoise shape, and that is like a fundamental shape of the entire universe. Like if you look at human auras, we have this torus-shaped electromagnetic field that comes from our heart chakra, and scientists can measure this actually. The Earth has one, the Sun has one, and I bet a lot of other large things, maybe like galaxies, have them too. And so this is like a fundamental thing to do with it, and to do with everything. And then Metatron's cube is like when you connect the centers of the circle to every other center of the circle. And that's basically like the seed of life or you just have like the 6 outer branches circles, and then you connect the center of each circle to every single other center, and you get Metatron's cube.
Wow. Yeah. Big shit. Yeah, that does actually happen.
And then from that, you can get all 5 of the platonic solids I was talking to you about.
We can see the pyramid and the pyramid together.
Yeah.
We can see the hearty cube.
There's one that's kind of tough to see, and that's the dodecahedron. This is like heavy. This is really what I'm interested in. Stage turquoise.
What stage do you reckon you're going to end up at when you're dead?
Probably white. Turquoise,
invisible.
Gosh. Yeah. There's just so much. Leo talked about this in one of his videos. He's like, once you get to turquoise, it's like you just realize how fucking dumb you are.
Yeah.
Like you thought you were like, oh yeah, stage orange, like I'm so above everyone, and then you're like, oh, I know what we're really just humans, and we're at stage B now, and then you're at yellow, and you're like, oh, complex systems thinking, and then once that, like, that's all good, like all these stages are good, like I'm not bashing on stage, but like I'm just trying to, like, from my point of view, I'm like, wow, I still have so much to learn. This book, Energy Work, it kind of like is still kind of like around this whole Merkaba thing. It doesn't really mention anything about the Merkaba. It's like a little step below, in my opinion. There's still probably quite a bit I could learn from it. Yeah, there's still so much to learn, and he talks about different dimensional, like how there's like dimensional levels are like musical notes, and we're stuck in like one note, okay, and that's like the third dimension. And then you go up a note, and it's like the fourth dimension. This whole notion of like, isn't the fourth dimension time? That's just not true, okay? Like, long story short, but you can do weird things with it, and like vary it. It's hard to explain, but so like you can go up when you say like I'm at the 11th dimension or whatever. It's not like, whoa, are you like beyond like physics and time? Well, probably not. I don't know though. It's just this idea of like the fourth dimension is time. That's probably not true. You go up these levels, and once you hit like this thing called the Great Wall, it's basically the next octave up of the dimension that we're in now. So basically, knowing that, know that you have all like the 12 notes or whatever and the piano scale, and you can go up, that allows you to go up all 144 dimensions above.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, apparently there's only 144 because 12 times 12, there's 12 octaves, and inside each octave there's 12 realities or 12 dimensions. So when I say I'm really dumb, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh man.
But the Merkaba is like this. It's Merkaba. It actually means some things, and I don't want to like bash this. Just maybe you can put it in the video, like the little what they mean. But it basically is like an energy light body, and it can like you can travel with it and do all these crazy things. You can fly, you can teleport, like almost, I think literally everything is possible with the Merkaba. And thought he knew this, and he taught it to some people. There's more people than thought. There's like, gosh, I don't have these people memorized, but so you know how Thoth had like the bird head. Well, there's other people. They had like the wolf head as a body or something, and there's other these ascended masters, you can call them. And basically they taught as much as people as they could before this whole kind of electromagnetic pole shift happens. And that way people could make their Merkabas and spin them and not have their memories wiped and continue to pass on and like ascend to these higher levels I just talked about. And then, something interesting. When you hit like this thing called the Great Wall, it's like for the next octave up, you can have a choice to go to these other higher levels or to basically like become one with reality.
Okay.
So like you're just like everything. You're like literally this pyramid or this computer I have right now. So that's just something I thought I'd say. But Thoth kind of stayed. He could have transcended and just like left Earth, but he kind of like he wanted to teach our race. And that's a long story. Our race, it's a long story. Has to do with like.
Dude, I'm literally writing down video topics. So I've got sacred geometry. Fucking go for it. Dude, do you know how I did the fucking stages? It's just so beautiful. Fucking catalog it. We go fucking lines. One video. The fucking, and then I've got dimensions. First dimension. There you go. Second. And fucking get it nice for people.
Yeah, maybe we can just have a dedicated, like I could learn as much as I can. We can just have a dedicated thing about that. Yeah, laser focus. If you want to like do some Merkaba work, I haven't even like started. Like I've just done a little bit of reading and stuff. Make sure you like know what you're doing, because some people they could get sick or like actually deplete their life force energy if they spin these things the wrong way.
Oh shit.
It's like if you spin, like if you take a look at all the planets in the solar system and if you spin one planet the other way, it will will like die. It will like literally deplete its life force. I think
if Earth spin the other way, then fuck off.
Mm-hmm. And isn't there a planet that does that? Is it like Mercury or something? I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I think Mercury spins the other way. And if you didn't realize, Mercury is like there's literally no atmosphere, and it's too close to the sun. So just like know what you're doing and stuff, because this is like serious stuff. And there's also a story about like some native tribe, and they kind of like heard about the Merkaba, and they didn't really know 100% what they were doing, and it ended up like the Philadelphia experiment. Do you know about that?
No.
All right, I would definitely check it out. It's a good reader if you want to watch some videos. Basically, the government wanted to teleport a ship, so they got some like some vibrating stuff and some crystals, and it like just appeared for like 3 minutes or something, and then it reappeared, and I think it reappeared like 10 miles over on another docking or something. I don't know. And so it kind of worked, but like everyone basically was screwed if they were on that ship. Like some people, like they got teleported in the ship, but some people like were stuck inside the metal of the ship or something, or like they went to some dimension during this 3 minutes, and it was like really terrifying, and it gave them like PTSD, and then they just like were insane for the rest of their life. So yeah, just like read as much as you can, like learn from the masters, and
who are some masters?
So like, okay, so Tom Bravo talked about this, and it really makes me question a lot of things of like what books I should read. The master is all in you, basically, long story short. So there's like this thing called the higher self, you know? And it's like highly linked with your subconscious. But we still can't just like, oh, it's my higher self speaking. You still don't have that intuition yet. So you have to start somewhere, and like yoga and meditation is like a great start. And like learning about Kundalini and stuff, that's probably a good start. And then once you get to that point where you can like talk to your higher self and like, or talk to angels or something like that, then you basically, or like access the Akashic records, then you don't really need these books anymore because you can access all information, period. So that is, I'm not there yet, obviously. So yeah.
Okay, so for me, it feels right now like a correlation with stage blue, which is like it's lots of beliefs. You know, I feel like I have to believe shit, but it's about experience, right?
Yeah.
So go through, take away my doubts.
Like, okay, I was actually thinking about this the other day, and this like energy work, or just like Merkaba fields, is very like a fundamental law of like reality or something like that. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because stage turquoise and stage blue are an octave up from each other, and stage blue is all about like right and wrong and like law and order and justice. But that is because stage blue is primarily just blind belief, you know, like just taking others people's words for it. Primarily orange, it's taking their words because they're the company leader, you know. But in stage blue will believe stage turquoise the most, you know, like look at Jesus, he was stage turquoise. And his disciples, or not disciples, but like people who are Christian, or you know, pick only one religion, they're stage blue. But I went to this church and they were kind of like stage green, you know, so some churches are a bit more stage green. So it's getting there. But when you can kind of grasp, like I'm not fully at stage turquoise yet, but I can kind of grasp it, and I'm starting to like have these interesting like realizations of how like if you have like these fundamental laws that you're learning about energy work, or like spinning a chakra or something like that. I can see how someone at stage turquoise would tell someone like this is how it is, and that they blindly believe it and start their own religion just off that, and that's where a problem can happen because they don't have that like direct experience. And word of mouth sometimes can shift over time, just like the telephone game, you play.
Chinese whispers. This stuff is admittedly not in my experience,
Yeah.
So,
have you tried any of like the lucid dreaming or astral projection or anything?
So astral projection, no, but lucid dreaming, I've had about. So if 100% lucid dreaming would be like right now, like the waking state, I've had sort of 10% in a dream, and I've been after I wake up, as soon as I wake up, recording dreams down.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's actually an experienceable like other state of mind. So
yeah. Something we were doing this like little segment in one of my psychology classes, and basically it's like a dream journal. And something that was like oddly efficient is to like talk and speak out loud right before you go to bed. I will remember my dreams, and then you'll wake up, and you'll just remember your dreams. Like it's so simple. And then there's this like gap, like 5-minute gap or something, where you just have to like write down what happened. Don't even like try to analyze it, because your ego might get in the way. Be like, oh, this is something. It means something. No, just try to just write it down, or like voice the text or something, and then go back like an hour or a few hours later and just kind of like think about like what happened. Is there any like relationships with other things? It was my subconscious trying to tell me something. And yeah, so that's kind of like a little tip I found for dream stuff.
And that can be another video topic as well. Fucking
lucid dreaming.
Yeah,
there's lucid dreaming, remote viewing, astral projection, energy work.
Oh shit.
Kundalini chakra stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, because dude, I need to understand chakras. Like, what is that? Is it just imagination? Is it just imagination?
Well, I'm gonna say no. But then one of the Hermetic principles is all is mental, everything is mind.
Oh god.
So that's like very stage turquoise, like Hermetic principles. So chakras are like, they're basically like energy vortexes. And there's like 7 main ones, and then there's like 12 minor ones, and they each happen to like certain points of the body. And like I don't know. They're basically just like kind of like spheres or vortexes of energy. And in one of my books, it talks about like the importance of like balancing all of them. And I don't know if I talked this about you, but there's this thing called chakra blowout, and it's basically like when you take a psychedelic or something. Like I've never taken them, but like it will happen with a chakra blowout is it will like just like make your third eye chakra just like really big, and you'll have this like crazy experience. But it'll actually like it will like unbalance the neighboring chakras and kind of suck those in, and then the neighboring chakras are like smaller, and that's not good because then the kundalini and life force can't flow, and you can't make this nice tortoise shape. and do a lot of things, have electromagnetic field around you. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, when I fucking move out and I'm in my own place, it's basically only for spiritual evolution, consciousness elevation.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, man! Wow.
That's good.
Ah.
So, are you just like finding an apartment, or like what's the deal on that?
A fucking flat. So, like a 1-bedroom. Well, at the moment, so what the plan is, let's talk about the plan. So, you know about Scotland, right? Do you know what Scotland is?
Yep.
Do you have any heritage there?
You know, I think I do actually.
Yeah, I do. That's intuition.
I'm honestly just a big mix of other cultures, like England, and I think my dad is from, like, part of him is from Scotland or something. So yeah.
Yeah, dude. One of the most beautiful things I like to do, it sometimes brings a tear to my eye. I like to look into people's faces and sort of imagine where their ancestors came from. I really go for it, man. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I think cool. I think about the Normans. I think about the fucking all this shit. It's fucking yeah. So now no one can avoid doing it right now. So there you go. I've trapped you. Okay. I'm just gonna turn the fan on before I talk about the plan. All right. So basically, in August, we are going to find out around August time. We're going to find out whether, because we've basically got plans to move from the south of England to Scotland, which is probably about 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
But yeah. And because it's cheaper up there, and my parents can get a house, and I can get a separate flat, which will have at least 2 bedrooms. There won't be a fucking cell. Yeah, but in August we're going to find out whether my mum can get a job in Glasgow as an art teacher. She is an art teacher.
Nice.
And also, me and her are building her a separate business online, and we're fucking gonna crush it.
Nice.
We're getting into stage orange. We're fucking yes. That's fucking sick, dude. And it's like, it's really beautiful because it's like my last thing to do before I move out, you know. Fucking yeah. And so in August we're gonna find out if she can get a job there. Because that's when school starts and stuff. But if we can't, she's going to have to stay here for another year. But if she can, if she can't, then basically I'm going to get a flat in Brighton, which is where I live now. So, and that'll be like a 1-bedroom because it's more expensive to rent out. So, yeah, either way, live alone and less influence from other people is best for spiritual evolution. It's a very personal thing.
Yeah. Unless if your roommate's like a yogi or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Leo Gura, imagine fucking and no shared accommodation. God, no shared facilities. Fuck everyone.
Yeah. That's cool. I want to move back to my apartment, but it's just like there's not really any point, and I'm better here, you know, because like I don't have to pay for much. I don't have to pay for groceries. My roommates are like, you don't have to pay for electricity or something because you're not living here, and it's much cheaper. So it's like,
it's nice.
For the most part, I'm just gonna be staying here, but I want to like be independent. I want to hit this point in like stage orange where I just like I make like a certain amount of dollars or a certain amount of money a day, and I'm like set. Like I don't have to like work harder, you know.
Dude.
Like I just want to be like make $100. I don't want to have to make like $900 a day, or like let's book it up to like $2,000 a day. No, I just want like the bare minimum so I can like really focus on like consciousness and like meditation. And I just want like a sustainable living environment. That's all I want. The money. Yeah.
Passive income. So I think about my plan is so since I was 16, I've had intuitions of just fucking walking around the country, just fucking like I could say a Jesus walk, right? Like I said, I had to go back to stage orange because I had no money, and it was too dangerous or something to just skip a stage or like go straight to stage. At least said, of course I remember that saying that because I edited that for fucking hours.
If you ever want me to like edit some videos, I have a Final Cut, so you know, if it's reading really long, send it over.
That would be cool actually, because I can see like your creative style and see if it's like cool, you know.
Sure.
I'm not gonna be stage fucking whatever. Mine's the best. Yeah. But basically, to round off that point, imagine like exploring the world and just knowing that your back is covered, like your survival is covered.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, you know, van life. Have you heard of van life? Yeah. That sounds kind of cool. Just like living in, like, I just want to like test it out, you know, see if I can like live in my car for like a weekend or something. Just to like travel up north.
Definitely try. You have a car, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Dude, I would have already done that, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in 5 years, you're still going to be young as fuck. That's what Gary Vaynerchuk would say.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
Yeah. He seems he's always angry though, you know.
Oh,
he's like yelling at people, but it comes from his heart, you know.
Yeah.
He's not like, it's not from his mind, it's from his heart.
He's passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you known about him?
A few years. You know, my dad really like him. Like my dad's really into like sales and stuff. Maybe like 2 years.
That's the same for me, kind of. Yeah. A year. Yeah. But yeah, so this stuff is my passion, all right, and I'm pretty sure it's yours as well.
Yeah.
Right. So we got to monetize this passion, and I have many ideas. You know.
I wish we could just like work off like donations. I wish we didn't have to like make people give us money. You know, I wish we could just kind of like.
Or stage green.
Yeah, I know. I wish it was, you know, but like for now, we'll just have to do what we have to do.
That's where Patreon comes in.
Yeah, Patreon is like really cool.
Let's talk about psychedelics because it's interesting.
Okay.
So, like, you've never done them, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No.
So, I have, for about 3 or 4 years, I smoked marijuana, dude.
Okay.
I was a stoner. And I've also done mushrooms.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened. Like, it was just I saw visuals, just like beautiful patterns.
Okay.
That's but actually, so I actually sort of felt a bit disabled physically.
Yeah.
And I imagined myself, like, you know, you have these thought stories. I imagine myself as like a disabled yogi, and people would come to me, and I'm just like on the couch, just like, And like people like it's so funny, man. I spent a lot of time on it. Yeah. So
I was talking with my friend, and it was like, it's weird shit happens to me all the time. I feel like either two things would happen if I did psychedelics. One, it would just be like just crazy, like absolutely insane, because I can astral project easy and I get weird visions
because
like when I'm meditating and stuff.
The experiential knowledge that you've had.
Yeah, just like the Kundalini awakening thing and like chakra energy meditation stuff I'm using and binaural beats and whatever. And then like the second, nothing would happen at all. I don't know why. Like, either something crazy would happen or just I'm just like too normalized or whatever. Like I'm too accustomed to the weird things.
I think that is like naive, I'd say. Because I mean, the only way to find out is to try.
Yeah.
Of course, on Information Paralyzed, we do not advocate drug use. So yeah, there's stories of like giving yogis whatever it is, and they just do nothing. And like it's just like pile on.
Yeah. Well, I think in one of Leo's videos, he like there was one student and he was like taking like 5-MeO DMT and just like a tiny little bit, and the whole yogi just like ate the whole thing, swallowed it down whole just because he wanted to get rid of it, and it didn't even faze him.
Fuck. Yes. Dude, I just had another.
I actually don't think that happened to me. I'm probably not that advanced, but
I just had another great fucking series idea.
Let me hear it.
Reviews on Leo Gura's videos.
Yeah.
Basically, we take the audience from there. Yeah, I can so each week or something or whatever, we basically choose a video, we watch it, and then we fucking write down points or whatever, and we bring them to the video and we fucking summarize it. Fuck yeah!
That's a lot of content.
Yeah.
Kind of like content.
Got a 4-hour video.
Yeah.
4 hours.
My friend and I we're still waiting for that 24-hour video, 24-hour live stream of
just him.
Exercise videos in summarized.
Oh shit! Yeah. Yeah.
But honestly, like the most, we could do like a summary, like what was the most influential videos, or like what are our favorite videos from him or other YouTubers for that matter.
Yeah,
keep it diverse.
Yeah, like favorite spiritual teachers and shit.
Yeah, really, that's really a powerful video, because that way we're not blindly believing one person.
Yeah, and we're like spreading the community as well, helping the community.
Yeah. I always thought my first video I watched was like the most important, because it was called like Advice for High School and College Students.
Holy shit. Yeah.
And I was like in college, I was in high school, I was like, what should I do? Like, what's the best thing to do? And I looked up and I found his video. I was like, oh god, these are the focus points I should be focusing on, and I should not give a shit about anything else,
Yeah. Just found it there.
Yeah.
Dude, like his latest video is advice for young people.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched that one.
Oh my god, it's really good. It's really fucking good.
Cool.
I'm like halfway through it. Yeah, it's really great.
I haven't like I used to put Chakras.org on like this pedestal, but I don't know, it's not really doing the same for me. Ever since I watched that one video, the one before this, the one you just talked about.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He basically just like takes 5-MeO DMT for 30 days, like.
Yeah.
I don't. And he's not like doing any of this energy work. He has no idea what the Merkaba is, or like all this ancient energy, different level of dimensions. No, he's just like kind of getting high. Like sure, it's probably like very insightful for him, and there's like great deal of insights, but I don't know if he's like actually like learning about like what it means. He might, but I don't know. So I'm like focusing on other people's work now.
Yeah, we don't know what he's got in the pipeline,
Yeah.
So. But yeah, we can talk about that like in a fucking Leo video. I do meditation every day, and do you have any insights for me about meditation that could help?
Well, Headspace is really good. Do you know the Headspace app?
Yeah.
That's kind of good. I'm not like a huge fan of guided meditation, but it is helpful sometimes if I'm feeling lazy. Like if you can find any like chakra balancing meditations, that would be pretty powerful.
Yeah.
I actually need to meditate more.
Being aware of thoughts,
Yeah, I was actually. Did I tell you like how to tell if your thoughts are actually yours? Did I tell you about that?
No.
Okay, so this is kind of like me piecing together tiny little bits of information. So Ryan Crapper has this other YouTube channel. He talks about like the etheric plane and like the mental plane of existence and all these other different levels of dimensions and stuff. And that got me thinking. That just got me thinking. All right, and then I had this like other experiences where like I astral project and my mind is just silent. Like I can think quiet. Like I can think silence. Like it's so nice. And then I like wake up in my body and I hear like a music song playing just loop, or thoughts and worries and stuff like that. And it got me thinking like are my thoughts actually mine? And like maybe I'm just like picking up static noise or random signals just like a TV receptor does. And so I kind of had like 3 points to like, and these are just like my ideas, and they're not like laws or like just anything. So the first one, let's see if I can remember them. I'll just off the top of my head, the first one I'm thinking of is like if you're thinking something and you don't put any effort behind it and it comes to you, then it's probably not your rhythm. You might just be picking it up. An example would be like if you can speak like if you say apple or say orange in your brain, like right now, you like have to put some form of energy and mental energy.
But like effort behind thoughts. That's fucking weird.
Just like even if it's just a little bit of energy, just to like say it, Yeah. And that's how it is in the astral worlds, like astral planes and stuff. You just have to like put some energy, like it's just like kind of like picking something up and putting something down. It takes a little bit of effort. And if you have a thought and it's just like you're putting like zero effort into it and it's just kind of like talking. That could be an indication that it might not be your thoughts. All right, so that's like point number 1. The number 2 is like, I got this from Ryan Crapper, and it's like, if you say something in your mind, you can kind of notice how it's coming from the direct center of your brain, like center.
I do feel it in my head.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's just because I believe that for years that it's come from my brain. But.
Yeah, so like almost like it's coming from the pineal gland or something. And if you hear a thought or you experience a thought and it's coming from like the side of the brain, or it's coming from like the back of the brain or something, that could be another indication that it's not your actual thought. It's going to be like picking up something, or there might be another fourth dimensional being around you. That could be, and it's not like a bad fourth dimensional or good dimensional. Who knows what it is? But and we could talk about like etheric implants, and that's like a heavy topic. But I've been working a lot and trying to gather information on that. So that's another thing. That's point number 2. And then point number 3 is pretty obvious. Is if you have your own dialect, like you talk a certain way. If you hear something that's not in your own dialect, that's a big indication that it's probably not your original thought. Like if you're just kind of thinking, and you have an idea, but the idea is speaking from like
African
an
American
old man, African American, or like an old lady or something, or like some random, like it's not your own voice inside your head.
Yeah,
that could be a huge giveaway that it's not your own original thought. So it's just kind of like picking up on these mental connections that we already have and we're just not aware of, and being aware of them, and that way we can just better understand these invisible connections we have with everything else that are already there. We just have to know it.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you have any more information on thoughts? What thinking is?
So, something I just learned a few days ago from Dom Bravo is that you have to start thinking from your heart and not thinking from your brain, because the brain is actually polarized.
Okay.
There's literally left and right hemispheres. It's polarized.
Yeah.
The heart is not polarized. It's like unity consciousness. That's what I think what it calls it. And that way you can manifest like anything you want, and there won't be like any negative consequences. But if you manifest from like the brain solely, you can manifest something, but like you'll still have that polarized opposite manifest in your life or something. Like the thing that you don't want to happen will probably manifest, as well as the thing that you do want to happen, just at different times or something. Maybe, but it's just
because like
insight.
There can be like 2 phases of, so like a dualistic. If you manifest something that you wanted, for example, I want to live in a house. There can be that maybe if you do it from the head, it can be end up being dualistic, which means that I got it, but then I lose it somehow.
Mm-hmm. Or you like the water supply keeps breaking or something.
Yeah,
like you got it, but it's like kind of shitty or something.
It's like half fucked up, but half wanted.
Fucking yeah. There's also this other this. All right, I'll send this to you. This guy, his name is Stein. Did I talk to you about him?
Nope.
Okay, so he has this nice not tutorial. It's just kind of like this course, and it's been on this YouTube since 2008 or something. Like insanely, it's kind of like old now. And he talked about energy and manifestations, and this is like a nice little picture. I found it. It talks about like the neutral, the positive and negative manifestations, and there's some really good. I was like actually surprised. I would like actually pay money to watch that course. That's free on YouTube. But he talked about like if you're using the positive manifestation, your heart chakra's open, and if you're using the negative manifestation, the heart chakra's closed. And if you're in the neutral, it's actually the most painfulest because your heart chakra's opening and closing, and that is like a big deal of suffering. And like on the one side you have Jesus, that was like open heart, and on the other side you had like Hitler or something, where it's just closed heart, and they still manifest things, you know.
Yeah.
And one is a pyramid structure, like someone is above you and someone is below you, and someone will always be above you because that's how pyramid structure works. And the other one is just a circle with arrows pointing in it, kind of like stage green.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the warm colors on the spiral dynamics versus the cool colors. Service to self versus service to collective. And so yeah, there's some really good, especially like psychology and just kind of like things to like hermetics and stuff like that on that channel. And it's all free, which is awesome.
I'll tell you the points that I've got for the AI video. So, no boring jobs for humans. That's one.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Extreme VR. So
okay.
The lifelike fucking virtual reality. The implications of that on society. Superhumans. So the rich, they'll be able to biologically, change their biology basically, and from that there'll probably emerge a new subspecies, the useless class, which is where basically all the people who are sort of working with their hands and stuff, basically they become irrelevant. And yeah, so it's fucking crazy. I got this book, Yuval Noah Harari, 21st 20 lesson.
So do you want to talk about that topic now or in the future?
I don't know, man. How are you feeling about it?
I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
Do you want to? We could just save it for another topic, or another day. Yeah. And there's other videos, about like secret technology that's like being suppressed right now. So I can like do some more research and probably add to the topic.
The role that spirituality will play. So.
Oh yeah.
My kind of thinking about that generally is, in any case, to avoid death and to avoid suffering, we basically have to raise our consciousness to the point where we don't really give a fuck about this body, Stage yellow and turquoise engineers, 3D printing, making lower. So basically, 3D printing, and people in Bangladesh, they're making stuff in the factories. They're all going to become irrelevant. So the money from that would go into the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you could send me these points. I could like say a lot about those things like already, but if you send me those points, I can add.
Yeah.
To what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, dude.
I've been kind of learning about where humanity is headed and where hopefully we'll go.
So I reckon we can stop the car. We can pull over.
Okay. So I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, man. Okay.
All right.
Good chat.
All right. I'll see ya. Take it easy.
See you later, man. Peace.